Hello, this is Counselor Miss V, and you're tuned in to Ask the Counselor Show. I am here with my special guest today. Her name is Veronica, and we're going to talk about health and wellness in regards to the mind, soul, and body. So, when we talk about those three components, they all work together in collaboration with each other. The mind, that's your mental state, that your body, that's your physical state, and your soul, that's your spiritual state. So again, those three things are going to work in collaboration together and help you. That's going to be you. It's going to be your functioning. It's going to be how you interpret things, and how you interpret life, how you just interpret things all around. So, of course, my specialty would be your mind. So I like to try to focus on people's minds and how they think, and it's in changing people's thinking. That's one of the things that's you would think that that's very easy to do, but changing your thinking is very hard to do. I mean,
Absolutely, changing your thinking, and I'll put the focus on me, and so the thinking is a part of the soul, and that's like the unseen part of me, and that's like on the psychological realm. It's composed of our mind, our emotions, our thoughts,
yeah.
our intentions, my reasoning, my personality, and so, my desires, addictions,
Yeah.
hurts, habits, hang-ups. And so that's a part for me where, it can be a struggle because those places where it took me so long, as a child, to grow up one way and get stuck in that train of mode, that thinking process,
Right.
So yeah.
A lot of times people will be like, well, what do I think about myself? And that kind of interprets how you interact with everybody, how you interact with the way you walk, how you interact with the way you talk, how you present yourself. If you've had years of conditioning, and I'm not saying that, maybe your childhood was good, maybe your childhood was bad, but in your adult years, maybe you found yourself feeling like you have low self-esteem. And a lot of times that low self-esteem would allow people to manipulate you and to kind of persuade you to do things that's unhealthy for your mind, soul, and your body. So that's what we're going to talk about today. As far as your body, we always say, okay, a lot of people have New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to budget more better. I'm going to, make my finances better, in regards to the body.
Yes.
So healthy eating
Right.
is okay. I mean, is beneficial for your body.
And the body, right? The body, and it's composed of like our senses, right? So we have our sense of smell, and then that taste, those taste buds,
Yeah,
right?
I got a
Touch,
good taste. Yeah.
right? Touchy, 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 touchy. Then we love to see things, that visual appeal, right? Hear,
Yeah.
sometimes we think we hear what we hear and we don't hear it.
Yeah.
So we have to watch out those ear gates, be ear hustling, eye hustling, right? So yeah, the body deals with our senses, that physical realm. For me, I go to the gym. You mentioned New Year's resolutions, and that's one time when the gym is really packed, and so do I hang in there all through the year? The body, and then again, I have to come back to the body. Sometimes I can dress up the outside and my insides are screwed up.
But a lot of times too, if you start like you said, doing exercises, even small stuff. If you do a walk, if you take the stairs instead of taking the elevator, if you park a little further at the grocery store and just take a couple of steps, closer to that, maybe do a walk around the park, or even not a half a walk, maybe do a walk to the corner and back, a walk to the mailbox and back, something like that. Just to kind of
start somewhere.
Right, start something, and you actually feel better. It's actually endorphins in your physical body that when you start exercising or start moving, your whole mental state changes.
Absolutely.
For the positive.
Movement.
Right.
Movement. And also what I found is that it starts, again, it starts in the food we eat, that taste, those taste buds, here we go back again to that soul, that thinking. We're so used to, I'm going back to that plate set,
Right.
Back home, we would pile our plates up.
Right.
With the wrong foods.
Or your family member may say, "You're not going to get up until you finish everything on that plate." That's like old time. You always hear that as a child, but that's really not. You usually eat until you get full, and then push away from the plate. But a lot of times we don't even like to do leftovers. Eat everything and don't have no food go to waste. That's how we were, brought up and raised.
We're brought up that way.
Yeah.
You wake up and they still sitting at the table. You haven't touched the plate yet.
And try things new that you didn't like before.
Explore.
I know I used to, as a child, hate all green vegetables. And green vegetables is basically the best thing for you. And so just into my adult years did I learn to eat spinach and broccoli and greens. And, I have a taste for them now. And they, of course, it's not that bad. But you learn to kind of adapt, and you got to try something new for you to kind of like it.
Exactly. And then what I've learned too, a lot of times some people don't feel comfortable going to the gym, and so we can start at home. We can take like canned goods, and put them in our hands, and we can lift them up. That's one form of working out. We can just get up and walk around our house,
Right.
While we're watching television or watching the soap operas, watching your favorite movie. You can get up from the couch and you can sit down. There's different ways to work out and get, you can start out, like you said, in increments. You can get a 5-minute workout here and then build yourself up. And I think what happens is we tend to set unrealistic expectations,
Right.
unrealistic goals, and then what happens is that we don't meet them, and then we beat ourselves up.
Right.
And fear cripples us,
Right.
and so we don't want to start over again, and that's where it's so easy to drop the ball, but I'm here to tell you, it's never too late to restart. Restart that battery.
And I always tell people in counseling, set realistic goals. I mean, don't set the bar so high. Of course, you want to ask the miracle question: where do you see yourself in 3 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself next year? Those are long-term goals. But you also want to kind of look at short-term goals. Where do you see yourself next week? If you want to lose 100 pounds, don't say, I want to lose 100 pounds. Say, I want to lose 5 pounds. And then after you lose the 5 pounds, then say, I want to lose 10 pounds. and then, you know, so on and so forth. And that way you kind of can reward yourself, not with food, but you can kind of reward yourself and say, okay, wow, I did that. I did 5 pounds. If I could do 5 pounds, I could do another 5 pounds. And that kind of helps you, you know, push forward.
Exactly, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I was reading a daily meditation today, and it was talking about how people don't reward themselves for meeting goals and accomplishments, and like you were talking about time frames and being realistic. And for me, sometimes I do just for today. You know, and because just for today, 24 hours is a lot of time.
Right.
You know, and some people, and I always have to bring it back to me. 24 hours, sometimes it's focus is a big priority.
Right.
And as I learn, as I get older, well, seasoned, I have to keep my priorities in line. So when I accomplish something, you know, just for today, I have to write down a task. And if I accomplish it within that day, I have to pat myself. And then I can branch out for a week or a month, you know, and then as I accomplish those goals, I'll take them off my list. So sometimes it's okay to have a just for today goal.
Right.
Those mini benchmarks.
Right. And I think it's so important what Veronica said as far as rewarding yourself. I mean, I used to, I asked myself and I asked a couple of my clients, I said, what did you buy yourself for your birthday? What did you do for yourself for your birthday? And a lot of times people, oh, I did this for my kids, I did this for my husband, I did this for my boyfriend, I did this for, you know what I mean? So on and so forth. They running around doing a lot of things for everybody but themselves. And a lot of times we forget ourselves. And we kind of focus on other people around us. I'm not saying that's bad, and I'm not saying it's selfish to focus on you too. You know, you're important. You're the one who keeps you going to help do things for other people. So focus on you. Reward yourself when you, you know, for your birthday. Celebrate, you know, things that you celebrate your successes. You know what I mean? Even if they're small successes, celebrate them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're to be celebrated. It's all about you. And again, change actually happens not overnight. It takes it's a process. Change happens after a process. And again, it's not going to be overnight, and you may fall or stumble, but you get back up and you keep moving forward.
Gradually, and I'm here to tell you because there's some areas of my life, you know, where if it wasn't for the grace of God, I know I wouldn't be sitting here to talk about, you know, where I was and where I am at today, you know. And so I'm here to tell you that I am a recovering addict, you know, and it's because of God's grace that I'm here today. Nobody wakes up and says, you know, that I want to use drugs today. Nobody wakes up and says that I want to sleep under a bridge. Nobody wakes up and says that they want to be homeless, you know. So we celebrate when we can overcome certain barriers, you know, and so, yeah. That's why it's very important to celebrate those moments when you can benchmark certain areas. And again, you know, I'm celebrating that I'm nicotine free. You know, smoking cigarettes. That's another, you know, area of where, you know, I have to pat myself on the back. Right. You know, so today, you know, when we talk about, you know, that unseen place of emotions, you know, have to go and start. I look at it like, you know, counselor, an onion, where I start to peel the layers off, you know, those unseen people, and talk about where that hurt come from, because you know, I'm only as sick as my secrets, and that's where that mind and that emotional pain and that emotional hurt comes from.
Right.
And so that sometimes when I'm acting out, or causing other people pain, I need to get to the root
Right.
of that problem.
And I used to tell some of my clients in session, I said, yeah, you can, just like a dandelion, if you just pull a dandelion out, it's going to grow back, right?
True.
But if you dig down and get to the root, get to the core of whatever issue it is,
Yes.
then the healing is going to start to happen. Then whatever's in that root is going to die. So you got to dig in there. And that's not going to take overnight. It's going to be a process. It's going to take some time, but you're worth it. And it's worth getting through whatever it is that you have to overcome. And so that would take me to our next, which is the spirit.
The spirit. And that's it.
That's it.
It's worth getting through.
Mm-hmm.
And so the spirit is part of my DNA because in that spirit, it allowed me to come in contact, right, with God. Mm-hmm. And when I became in contact with God, I met a man and his name was Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, and then he told me that I didn't have to carry this burden all by myself. And once I let go and let God, Jesus, right, he took the rest. And so he told me that I'm no longer alone.
Right.
Right? So now I'm a new creature in Christ.
Right.
Right? So now I'm transformed. I'm transformed into this other person. So now the way that I used to think, those old thinking places, those old thinking patterns, I don't have to think that way anymore.
Right.
My whole thinking process is changing.
Right.
I'm thinking a whole different kind of way. And that's because I have changed in the spirit of the living God has deposited into me, and I'm just growing in this new transformation.
Right. The mind, which is what we talked about, the body, which is the body,
Right.
and the spirit.
That
that inward. I mean, whatever your higher power is, of course, Jesus and God is mine. So, but that might not be yours. But you have to find your balance. You have some call him the creator, some call him Allah, some call him Buddha, but
whatever works for
you. But mind, soul, and body is mind, spirit, and body is the three essentials that's gonna keep you and help you move forward in your life. I always tell people also, do relaxation and meditation. Sometimes people call it prayer. Again, it's to edify and to help uplift your spirit.
Yes.
Relaxation and meditation is just recentering yourself, kind of putting yourself in a calming state and just letting the spirit of whoever you worship,
Mm-hmm.
kind of help you move to the next level.
Exactly. So. And so, yeah, I meditate. And so when I meditate, that's a time when I just listen. I sit back and I listen. I listen to the inner spirit of the God of my understanding.
Right.
And he talks to me very, very clearly. He talks to me and I listen to him, and he guides me and he directs me and he doesn't steer me wrong.
Right.
And if it's not practical to me, it's not spiritual. And another way, what I'm learning as I find balance in my life, there's so many new dimensions to life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a chisel for me. I'm just chiseling through this new way of life because as I'm seasoning, I haven't lost a lot because I'm gaining more. you know, in this new way of life. And so, you know, I go to the gym, I work out, I love to line dance, I do poetry, I love singing. Right now I'm working on a play.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
That's
I'm writing
wonderful.
a play for it's called Some of the Women of the Bible, some of the bad women of the Bible, and what we can learn
Right.
from them. And so I'm excited about that. And it's going to be coming out really soon. So get ready for that.
Get ready, y'all.
Get ready. You
Get
know.
ready.
And so, you know, there's just so many different things once the scales come off, once
Right.
the layers of the onion, you know, and it's a vulnerable place to be in when you expose yourself.
Yeah.
And so what I'm learning is when I drop it, whoever picks it up and run with it, that's on them, because I'm free. Freedom isn't free.
Right.
Sometimes people say, well, you free. Yeah, you are, but freedom isn't free because there's a cost. And so, you know, God, the only freedom was free was for Jesus Christ. And then that wasn't really free because he went through a lot to free us.
Amen.
Amen.
Veronica gonna start preaching in a minute now. But I just want to kind of wrap it up because, again, this topic is so essential for your healthy state of mind, for your healthy state of body, for your healthy state of your healthy spirit.
And I have scripture on that too.
So it's, again, your mind, your soul, and your body. Those three components is going to help you move forward. Fix them. If they need to be adjusting, adjust it, because you are important to move forward for you. I always leave or start off with a scripture, and this is the scripture that I kind of built my organization on,
Yes.
and which is 1 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And so we have a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe. Thank you, Veronica, for being here
for
today.
asking me to come.
So tune in, please. Sundays at 1:30, Thursdays it repeats at 6:30, and I'm on YouTube under the Counselor Ms. V Show, and I'm also on Facebook or Counselor Ms. V.
Yes.
Please tune in. Email me, mhcmsvee@gmail.com. I'm going to be actually doing a live segment on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm going to
great.
have people asking questions, and I'm going to be on air. But I'm
Awesome.
going to be live on Facebook, asking me anything, and if I can't answer it, I'm going to find an answer for you.
That's good news.
You know, and in regards to mental health. Okay, so
Great.
again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. The
Bye-bye
Counselor
for
Ms.
now.
V Show. Ask the Counselor.
Bye.
Bye-bye.